Welcome back to Doc's Hot Shop and Forge. So today we're going to start on making a double bearded axe. Now I've got a section of wagon axle. It's wrought iron, so that's going to be the body. What we'll do is we'll use the slitting chisel that we made and handled a couple of weeks back, and we're going to cut a slot 60 millimeters long, straight through, and that will become the eye of this axe. Now, as you've just seen in the last video, we've rough forged in the drift for making the eye. So let's lay out this one to make up the eye, and this weighs about 2 kilos. So it should be a pretty hefty axe, figuring we'll lose 15 to 20%, but we'll be adding in some metal for the cutting edge. So we'll probably end up at about the 1.8 kilo mark if I'm lucky. We'll see how we go. Working in the gas forge is always a little bit more aggressive on the scale than it would otherwise be. That's just the nature of the beast and the difficulty in getting a steady supply of coke or coal in this day and age. So let's lay this out, get it hot, and have some fun. Okay. What I need is something to hold it steady with. Okay. Okay. Consider cutting that a little bit shorter. Okay. that's the eye roughed in. Plan B, piece of old farrier's rasp. We're going to forge it down a little bit, and then we're going to draw out the wedge shape. A piece of steel that I've discarded is a piece of old leaf spring, and that's the risk that you run with old pieces of spring, that they will have stress cracks in them. That piece was at one point going to be the faceplate for a anvil. I'm kind of glad that it never made it to that stage. Right, last little bit. Let that cool off a bit. That'll give us a good thick edge that we can forge out to make the cutting edge. And most of these will disappear during that process of the grinding afterwards. Now, this one is currently at 55 millimeters, which is 2 1/4. We need to get that out to 70 millimeters. So what we're going to do is get the whole thing hot, but not welding heat. So we'll stop it at about 1180 degrees Celsius, maybe a tiny bit higher. That's well below the welding point of wrought iron, but it is above that fraying plastic point where it starts to come apart. This is to protect have a little bit of an incipient crack, but because we're going to weld, I don't think it's going to make much difference. In a minute, we're going to need to slit the edges so that we can fit our steel bit in. So that's going to be fun. Just got to forge out a few more of those fuller marks. Short. Okay. I think we got a little bit too much. Damn it. Okay. Thought we had some nice aggressive teeth. Apparently not aggressive enough. We're slowly creeping up on welding temperature. I'm going to use a pair of tongs I very rarely use, but these have got the room I need to get over that split lip for the other bit, and should hold reasonably well. They won't be perfect. They are very old, and should do the job just for the 1 or 2 times that it needs to be done. Hopefully this will take first go, because I don't want to be mucking around with it for too long. This tool steel is going to lose a lot of carbon very quickly. See how much you lose to scale very quickly. sawing out the blade to thickness and shape. Probably the last. So we're just tidying up the blades a little bit before we put the drift back in and then take any twist out. So, wreck my elbow. It's too hot to work without a glove. Bad idea to work with one. I missed all of that. So we have touch marked it, serial numbered it badly. So let's get it hot again. One is canted a little bit. I'm going to try and correct that just with a couple of gentle taps with the rawhide, minimise the marks, and then we'll see about crushing it and punching it. quench tank. This is a small ammo box because it's got the length, so I can just duck straight down and get both edges to quench at the same rate, or near to. I'm using canola oil. Because of the small volume and the large axe, I'm not going to preheat it too much. Simply put, it doesn't have the heat capacity of a larger volume. I'd ideally like 3 times the volume so I can bring it up to temperature and do a proper quench. But this will have to do. The bit steel is W2, so it's an ideal water hardening, but I'm going to harden in oil because I don't want it crystal, glass hard. Okay, here we go. Just going to leave it like that. It's a very shallow tank. It's actually fallen over. So we're at the final fitting stage, so we're scraping at this point, and it looks like this piece of wood has got nearly perfect grain orientation. It was difficult to tell initially, but it looks like the grain is mostly in this plane, which is really, really good. That was a fun project. Learnt a lot, and it's come out reasonably well, as you can see. There'll be some better photos at the end, but I'm quite happy with it. Being wrought iron, there's always the risk of some splitting. This was actually there from the start, so I've managed to keep that from getting any worse. Approximately 1.6 kilo head, so 3.5 pounds, which is not too shabby for a axe. I would have liked the bit to be a little bit longer. But anyway, it's come out pretty well. The handle is blue gum, simply because I had some, and it had the appropriate grain orientation, so it's pretty much in this plane. Ever so slightly canted this way, which is ideal for a axe head or axe handle. One bit is about degree out of square. This one is plumb in line with the axe handle. This one is ever so slightly canted. You can't really see it until you're looking at it over a long distance, and then it's like maybe. So it's probably 1 or maybe 2 degrees out. The trickiest part with this project was keeping the mass where you need it. I've ended up with too much mass in the walls of the eye, which is why it's not quite as long. Keeping it from being twisted is also a little bit on the tricky side. Not terribly bad, and you can correct for that towards the end. It's just a matter of clamping in a vise and grabbing your twisting wrench and just basically giving it a bit of a torque. Making sure that you've got your drift in the eye when you do so. Otherwise the eye distorts quite badly. So I will be revisiting this in the near future. I've got a few Etsy things to get done in the meantime, simply because the shop's doing well. I won't detail too many of those videos, simply because I've done them before. So this will be probably in a few weeks, maybe a month or two. I'll revisit this with a larger chunk of wrought iron, or a big chunk of actual steel if I can get it. Because I think that slitting the eye and then drifting actually makes the axe eye process so much faster. And ultimately, that's the aim of the game. So, that's where I'm going to leave off. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up. Feel free to share on social media, and if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. When you do, don't forget, ring the notification bell. So get out to your shop, challenge yourself, do something new, but above all, stay safe, and I'll catch you for the next one.